What is up, guys? Welcome back to Week 10. Week 10. That's right. It's going by fast, guys. Today, we are going to be doing our waiver wire picks, okay? It's going to be a shorter show, but it's going to be eventful. What do you say?
Yeah, we're going to get a little bit of waiver wire picks in here before Wednesday comes around here, and then we'll talk a little bit about our picks we had for Sunday and Monday, who got more right. I'll give you a little bit of a hint. It was me. And then we'll talk about Thursday's horrible primetime game coming up. So anyone that wants to enjoy that awful game, go for it. But we'll talk a little bit about that. So we'll jump right into the waiver wire here. I'll go ahead and get it started. What do you say?
Yep. Have at it.
Sound good to you?
Have at it.
All right, let's do it, man. For the second week in a row, waiver wire, number one pick, Mr. Alopecia, Josh Dobbs, baby.
Dobbs.
Josh Dobbs. He is the man, the myth, the freaking legend.
Hey.
He's great. If you had any doubts, take a peek. The man didn't take one snap with that team. He didn't know any of the linemen's names.
None.
Didn't know any of them. Didn't even know some of the guys he's throwing the ball to. And he looked great. He looked great in Arizona. He looks great in Minnesota. He's doing amazing. His first game with Minnesota, 25 fantasy points, QBR of 102. Just crazy. 67% was his passing percentage. He threw for 158 yards, 2 touchdowns, and honestly, there was some question about Jordan Addison's fantasy value with Josh Dobbs coming in. Is there any question? I'm thinking about shaving my eyebrows and my hair. I'm in. Shit, he's great.
And not only, I'll add on to that a little bit because, think of the wide receivers he had at Arizona compared to, I will say, some of these. When's JJ coming back? Do you know, Doc?
So there's a chance he can come back this week.
Okay.
I say there is no chance he's coming back this week. I give it at least one more.
Okay. So, yeah, he's going to have the best wide receiver at his fingertips. He's going to have, one of the best rookies at his fingertips at the wide receiver with Addison. So, he's already going to have more targets to throw to than he did at the Cardinals. So, I think that's a great pickup for him. And, yeah, and you said how much? 25 points?
25 points. First game, he didn't know anybody's name.
And he didn't even start the game.
It's crazy.
He came in.
And we have a first-time chat by DJ. You already know, Papa. Which one of you is Stephen A. and which one of you is Max Kellerman?
Oh, boy.
I'm me. That's all I can say.
Angel, why do you got to do that to us, okay?
I'm me, baby. I'm me. Shit.
All right, my first waiver wire pick. And it goes with another QB, Derek Carr. That's right. He's scoring between about 16 to 18 fantasy points in his past 5 games. Going against a Minnesota's defense that's given up the 11th most fantasy points per game to quarterbacks. So he's going to have a heyday, I think. I truly believe that. Thomas is finally getting back in the action. I don't know if you noticed that this past week. Same with Olave. He's already his number one target. Same with their tight end. What is his name? Johnson, I believe. I can't remember. But he had 8 targets and a touchdown. He's throwing the ball like crazy right now. He's got Alvin Kamara just that he can dish it out to as well. This is a guy that I think will have a pretty solid game this week coming into the Vikings.
Yeah, I think that leads right into my number 2, and that is a man you didn't even touch on.
Yep.
Didn't even touch on.
I was waiting for it, baby.
Their best offensive weapon. Who's Alvin Kamara? Who was that? It's not even fantasy relevant.
Oh, I don't know about that.
The most valuable New Orleans Saint Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill. The
Taysom
quarterback,
Hill,
the wide receiver, the running back. Shit. I mean, if he played for the Texans, he'd be a field goal kicker. He does everything.
You ain't lying.
He's great. The last 3 games, and this happens every single year, and you need to ride the wave when it happens because it doesn't last all year.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't last all year. It comes for a couple games and it'll go away, but it comes every single year. The last 3 games, he's got 17 fantasy points, 22 fantasy points, and 21 fantasy points.
Whew.
He's ridiculous. Well, that should never happen for someone that doesn't even start, plays every single position on the field. My God, if you need 2 or 3 yards and you're in Philadelphia, do the tush push. If you need 2 to 3 yards and you live in NOLA, give the ball to Taysom Hill. The man puts his head down and runs through every single person on the field. It's actually crazy. And now he's starting to score touchdowns. And like you said, he's going up against a Minnesota defense that looks like he's straining pasta. It's just lets everything through. So pick up Taysom Hill if you haven't already. Go get him, and especially in the tight end slot because no one's putting up numbers. Not even Travis Kelce last week was putting up big numbers.
4.4 points last week.
Yeah, like Cole Kmet put up big numbers for the first time in his entire career.
Yep.
So it's a very wishy-washy position. So to have a little bit of consistency from someone like Taysom Hill, kind of ridiculous for that position. So pick him up.
And in the past 2 weeks too, I saw. I mean, they played against the Colts 2 weeks ago, and they did it to them. When they get between the 5-yard, inside the 5-yard line, all they do is bring out a giant defensive end or a lineman. I don't even know who it is, but he's a big boy, and they just let him go right in front of Hill to block, and he just finds the end zone. It's too easy. It's too easy.
That's the true Philly tush push.
Yeah.
That's the true one.
Yeah.
Yeah, show up, Nola. Yeah, that's right. That's how Nola does it right there. That's a true tush push.
They need to go against the Eagles, and they just need to do that all game. See who wins the battle. All right, my number 2. Now, I will say this week is going to be a little iffy, but I promise you these next couple weeks will slowly gain progression with this guy. Kyler Murray. That's right. He is finally coming back, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Now, this man, if you're new to fantasy, this man is the fantasy king almost when it comes to the quarterbacks, other than, of course, Mahomes and Allen. But 21 fantasy points per game during his career. All of the fantasy games that he's had, 21 fantasy points, average. Okay, that's all you got to know. That's all you got to know. He can run the ball. He's like a Lamar Jackson. That's how I say it. Just a little bit shorter, and I don't think he's as fast. But he just has to have those guys around him to be able to make the plays. That's one thing I think he's going to struggle with this year. But at the same time, I still think he's going to find his way back. So if you don't have him, pick him up in the waivers because I know a lot of people have no idea he's even coming back this week. So
hey, he's a Heisman.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, at the end of the day, he's a Heisman. And people always sleep on Kyler Murray because they think he plays in a shitty team, but he gets touchdowns. The man gets touchdowns. And that, for fantasy, that matters. And every year, someone that gets Kyler Murray in like the 6th, 7th round of the draft, it's a steal. So the fact that he's coming back, it's a lot of value for his position.
And sorry if you are in our league, if you're watching or listening, I did pick him up, so back off.
And I have Taysom Hill, so
yeah,
it's fine. It's fine. Leading into my 3rd waiver wire pickup, it's a guy that I believe is trending up. If you watch the games, and I watch every single one, the Cowboys. Jake Ferguson, baby. As a tight end, if you've been watching the last couple games, you've seen Dak get better and better. And if you've watched ESPN at all in the last couple of days, I don't necessarily believe this, but every single person on ESPN has said that Dak Prescott was the best person on the field during the Phillies-Cowboys game. I don't know if I necessarily believe that. I think A.J. Brown was the best person on that field at any point.
Oh, yeah.
With that being said, he is doing better. Dak is. And that is trending upwards for his receivers because he's actually getting the ball out. He's getting the ball out quicker. He's making better decisions. He's putting the ball a little bit in better positions than he used to because he was just throwing them out of bounds. With that being said, he's having more time to throw the ball because of the offensive line, and he's doing checkdowns. And so CeeDee Lamb is getting a ton of targets because it's his first option. But there's a lot of times that CeeDee Lamb's getting doubled. When CeeDee Lamb gets doubled, who does he check to? Jake Ferguson. Every time. Jake Ferguson, almost every single route, does a 5 yards, and then he looks at Dak Prescott. Like, it's almost every single play.
Absolutely.
And so it's one of those, if you're in a PPR league, it's better, as we are. And I think he's only trending up. So the last 2 games, he got 15 fantasy points, and then the last week he got 22. And he's just getting better as it goes. His yards per reception, yards per game, his longest reception each game has just gone up continually. So I think he's someone to look out for on a Cowboys offense that, honestly, I am biased, but they outplayed the Eagles.
They did.
I will fight that to my death. In the fourth quarter, the Cowboys had 165 yards in the fourth quarter, and Philly had 14. So, I mean, if you watch that last drive, they were ridiculous, and Philly had a lot of mistakes. So Philly's got a lot to clean up, and the Cowboys, honestly, are trending in a good place, even though that was a loss. They're trending up, so.
They just got to find a quarterback that can finish a game for once.
I don't think that one was on him.
You don't? Man, I just think he just wasted too much time on some of those plays at the end.
I don't think it was on him. I really don't.
But
normally, I would say Dak is the problem. As a Cowboys fan, like, I want to try Trey Lance. Shit,
no,
I want to trade up, and I'd love to get Caleb Williams.
Oh yeah.
You know, there's a lot of other options that I think would do awesome in Dallas. Yep. I mean, CJ Stroud, please. Like, get CJ Stroud in that system, get him someone to actually throw to and have a running back that can make plays. Good Lord, they're going to be ridiculous. But they'll never trade interstate, so it's just not going to.
Correct.
Whatever.
All right, my last waiver wire is D'Onta Foreman, the running back for the Chicago Bears. It makes me a little... It's a little weird to say this name because the amount of people that actually don't have him rostered in fantasy leagues, 46.5%. He's only rostered 46.5% in fantasy leagues. That's kind of crazy to me, especially with how many good games he's had in the past few weeks. So he's seen 15 or more rushing attempts in 3 of the past 4 games while rushing for 65 or more yards on 3 occasions. This would be I wouldn't say he would be a running back QB or RB1. I don't say that, or fringe RB2 in big leagues, flex in other ones. But this man's been on a tear, and I feel like he's just gonna keep rolling. I mean, this dude's 6'1" and fast as fuck, boy. No, this guy is insane, man. So I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on him, and including some of the running backs behind him that are injured and supposedly going to be coming back. I just don't know if they're going to be taking his place. If they do, I think he'll have some time that will be split between him and some other one else. But this guy right now is currently trending up in the right direction.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember this, but I think it was two years ago when he was on the Falcons.
Yeah.
Dude just went off for fantasy. I had him, and like he would get 30 points a game. I mean, it was just constantly.
He did the exact same thing on the Panthers last year.
Mm-hmm.
The exact same thing, because I had him. I picked him up in my waiver wires, and he was tearing it up.
Dude, I miss Hubbard on the Falcons. He was so good on the Falcons.
Oh yeah. But man, I mean, he's doing like what he knows what he needs to be doing. So I mean, I think he's he's not on the best team, but right now it's working out for him.
All right, so that finishes up our waivers. We'll just run through the games real quick and say which team we had and anything that sticks out about the game. So first up, we had Steelers Titans. I believe I had Steelers for that game. I believe you had Titans.
I can't remember actually. Not thinking about it.
Only thing I have to say here is Steelers are now 5-3 and they're the worst 5-3 team in
I would
history.
agree.
Good God, they just get in positions to win for some reason. It's ridiculous. Glad Derrick Henry got some runs.
Yep.
Got involved a little bit more. Still waiting for him to get hurt so Tyjae Spears can finally come into the league because I think he has the potential to be great. You got anything on that game?
I mean, passing game for the Steelers, you think it would be good. It's very poor the start of the year. And you think with a wide receiver like Pickens, you think with a quarterback like Pickett, I mean, right? Running backs, you know where I'm going with that one. You already know it's your favorite player, Najee Harris. And I feel like Warren is just kind of taking over his place a little bit. But
I think they need to wash their hands of Pickett and try again. He sucks. And
you got Trubisky behind him too.
Dude, there's so many quarterbacks coming out of the draft this year, and they're great. Like there's a long list. You got Penix, you got Caleb Williams, you got Drake May from North Carolina. I think there was like 8 like projected top 2 round quarterbacks. Like this is a good year for quarterbacks. So some teams honestly need to sell high here and get them. And I think Steelers are one of them.
Well, I mean, their only good wide receivers, Deontay Johnson. I mean, but he scored his first touchdown of the year.
George Pickens is a big boy, and when he gets going, he gets going.
But yeah, Pickett, 19 for 30, 160 yards. That's it.
That's piss poor.
They almost and then they had Warren at 88 yards on 11 rushes.
See, that's piss poor for that kind of talent. Like Correct. It's just not right. Okay, we'll move on. Das game in Germany. Chiefs versus Dolphins. I was surprised. I was surprised. I saw some stat that was like it's been 460-ish days or something that the Dolphins have not won against a team that's above 500. Surprising.
That surprised me actually.
They don't win against winning teams, and it's kind of interesting because teams like the Chiefs have weird losses. Like they lose weird games. The Dolphins lose games they probably should lose. So the Dolphins are actually a high to mid team. They're not elite, and they kind of showed us there with the Chiefs. So
well, yeah, the Chiefs lost to the Colts last year. If that tells you anything.
The Chiefs had some offense to clean up.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you watched that game, but there was a lot of drop passes, a lot of miscommunication, a lot to clean up. But if they clean it up, they're going to the Super Bowl again. They're just. They just win games.
I will say they have to get through Baltimore first.
Best team in the league.
I have high hopes on them right now.
They should have gotten Saquon at the trade deadline, but
well, Gus Edwards, man, he's and Mitchell, their other backup. I mean, I know it's kind of a fluke because he had one long run, but at the same time, who knows? Bro, Gus Edwards, man, he's a touchdown machine right now.
He's 4'2".
It don't matter for fantasy people when they get points.
All right, moving on. I got nothing else for that one. Vikings, Falcons. Oh, sorry. We both chose the Dolphins, and we both lost that one.
Yeah.
Vikings, Falcons, split decision, and I take home the gold. I picked the Vikings on this one. I bet high on Josh Dobbs, and I came through, baby. Vikings just had too much pressure. Anything you got there?
No, I mean, excellent job for Dobbs coming in playing with a team that he hasn't even taken a snap or thrown to anyone with. So, I mean, there's nothing else to really say about it other than hats off. I mean, that's insane, especially in the NFL.
Then we got Bears, Saints. We both chose Saints and took home the gold. Not much to say. They should have won. They did.
I will say one thing. That was a lot closer than it should have been, I think. Bears, I actually watched that game. Almost all of it, actually. And for turning the ball over, with the Bears turning the ball over 3 times and still only losing by a touchdown, is crazy to me. So that's all I'll say with that. But
yeah, Rams, Packers. I think we both chose the Rams.
I know I did. Yep.
and obviously the Packers won. The Rams are in an spot.
Yep.
They have elite talent with nobody to throw the ball to the elite talent. It's kind of sad. I hope Stafford comes back, just because it's kind of sad to watch him play. That's all I got.
I don't have much to say at all to that one.
Yeah. All right. Commanders Patriots taking home the gold again.
I lost this one.
Commanders won. You pick Patriots, I pick Commanders. Commanders are just a hard team to play. Honestly, they're just tough. And I do remember you saying that you bet against them because they got rid of their linebacker and their elite defensive end. And
no, it's both of their defensive ends.
I thought the one was a linebacker. Sweat.
Mm-hmm. Sweat was the defensive end.
Sweat's
right.
a D.
They lost the right and the left.
And they still put pressure on the Patriots. Granted, Gondre Stevenson did well and got a lot of fantasy points. However, I'm proud of the Commanders. I want them to do well. I don't know. So, anything for you?
I don't like the Patriots, and it kind of killed me to go with them, but I just figured they would score a little bit more with not having too much pressure towards them, but they just got outplayed at the very end.
Well, there's a special spot in the fifth layer of hell for you for picking the Patriots. We got next game, Ravens-Seahawks. We both picked Ravens. They're the best team in the league. Don't overthink it. They look fantastic, clicking on all cylinders. That's what I got.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to it as well. I mean, the score shows for itself. I mean, this is the past like 2 to 3 weeks. I mean, they've been blowing people out like this. I mean, nothing left to say other than they're the number one team right now.
Yep. And then Texans, Buccaneers. I don't remember what you picked. I picked Texans.
I picked the Buccaneers.
Okay.
I think we both picked the Buccaneers because we talked about it this weekend. I remember.
I will say this game is one of probably the second most interesting game that happened.
Yep.
It was a great game. CJ broke a rookie record, 5 touchdowns, 470 yards. Just insane. He looked great. He looked great. I don't know if you watch the game, when he comes over the top, he doesn't just he fully comes over, and it's beautiful. No one can get their hands on it. And he's throwing dots to Nico Collins. It's great. And honestly, he needs out of Houston, number one. If he has 3 more seconds to throw the ball, he's going to be dominant.
Yeah.
Dominant. I mean, he's got to be on a better team.
And this is one thing I will take from this game. It's hard to pick a wide receiver to start for the Texans with games like this because, I mean, Nico Collins had, I think, 14 fantasy points to have him. But you had Tank Dell that had 27 fantasy points. You had Noah Brown that showed up and had 24 fantasy points. I mean,
well, that's what happens when you have a field general quarterback. So
yeah,
CJ Stroud, when he was getting drafted, the reason he didn't go number 1 overall is because the Panthers and every team in the league actually is moving to thinking that you need a quarterback with speed that can throw the ball. So CJ was not first because he's not a runner.
Yep.
He is a field general. Who else is a field general that also can run, but is generally a field general? He goes by the name Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, there it is.
And can you bet on any Chiefs receiver ever that does not go by the name Tyreek Hill in history? No, you can't.
Nope.
Because every single week they're either going to get a ton of points or 0.
Correct.
Because he throws the ball to everyone. And CJ Stroud is a field general, and he throws the ball to everyone. Nico Collins will get 13 points, and then he'll get 1. Because he throws the ball to everyone.
Yep. That's 100% true. 100% true.
Next game, we got the Browns beat the Cardinals. We both had the Browns.
Yep.
Easy win.
Game. Yep.
Not much to say. 27-0. Cardinals suck. They're getting some players back on offense. They're getting Kyler Murray back, and they are getting James Conner back.
Cleveland's defense is just way too good this year. I'm
Yeah.
actually very curious because they play the Ravens this week, right?
Who does?
Browns.
The Browns play the Ravens. Yeah.
So that'd be interesting. I want to see how their defense goes against a high-powered offense like them. So
And I
it's gonna
think
be
it's a
kind of
good week to get James Conner back too, because it'll
yeah.
help. It'll help Kyler spread the ball a little bit to have an elite back in the backfield. Because James Conner was on a tear before he got hurt.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, 20 fantasy points a week.
Yep.
He was doing great. Moving on, we have the Colts and the Panthers. We both chose the Colts. They won
Woo!
handedly.
Represent.
They look fine. They look fine. I think this was finally the week that Jonathan Taylor has taken over Zach Moss a little bit, and I kind of hope that starts to trend that way and kind of get Zach Moss out of there. We all want to see Jonathan Taylor play instead of Zach
Yeah.
Moss. I mean, I know he's on your fantasy team, but
Yeah,
get
it's
over
all right. I'd rather have Taylor still play.
Yeah.
I'm fine getting rid of Zach Moss.
Good, because we all
How
want to see
about-
Jonathan Taylor do well.
But how about Kenny freaking Moore, bro? 2 pick sixes in the game. That's insane.
Yep, that is crazy. And then we got Giants Raiders. I picked the Giants. I don't remember who you picked.
I picked the Raiders.
Raiders. Okay, yeah. So this one goes for you. I genuinely thought the Giants were going to do better, but being said, Daniel Jones got hurt early, and it's just they're not winning anything, man. It's sad to watch again. And I watched on ESPN this morning. They're talking about what to do with Daniel Jones. So the man finally got his bag. He got $40 million, and now they're in a pickle. Because do you wait for him to get better and start the season next year with Daniel Jones? Or again, do you buy high and go for Caleb Williams? Do you go for Drake May? Do you go for, better yet, Michael Penix? I think Michael Penix, other than Caleb Williams, is the best quarterback in the draft and will fit beautifully in a good offense. So I think they should. I mean, I'm done with Daniel Jones myself, and I want to see a bigger personality in New York City. Daniel Jones is a bum.
I will say Williams will not go there because he actually put out his preferred teams, and if he doesn't get to go there, he will not go to the draft, he said.
I mean, that's kind of stupid on his end. Because
and his words were he would make more money in college than in the NFL.
Yeah, and that's like, honestly, any New York team in any sport you should be happy to play on because it's the biggest. I mean, like the New York Knicks.
A lot of pressure,
like for basketball, people are like, "Oh, I would never play for the Knicks." Are you joking me, dude? You want to have fans? Play for the New York Knicks. Like I love the
celebrities
Knicks.
at every game.
I do love the Knicks. I love me some good Knicks, but that's a different podcast. Okay. Anything else? Raiders, Giants?
No, nothing much at all.
Moving on to the best game of the week, Cowboys Eagles. I think I already talked about it. I think Cowboys had many chances to win. They need to close out. They had 2 touchdowns called back because 1, Dak stepped out of bounds, and 2, the guy had the ball in his left hand instead of his right hand.
Yep.
So it all comes down to a game of inches, and it's time that the Cowboys start taking over because they're playing well. They just got to put it together. And Dak needs to throw the ball to someone that is not named CeeDee Lamb.
Correct.
Actually, like he's got to move the ball. The fact that Cooks is on that team and is not the second man is crazy. That's wild.
I was about to say the same thing.
You got to spread the ball. You've got to.
You pay money for him to get him, and then you don't even throw it to him. He is a very, very good wide receiver.
Well, he's the second best option, and he's not being used, so it's frustrating. Okay, then we got equally second best game of the week, Bills Bengals. I
can't remember who I think I might have picked Cincinnati actually in this one.
I think we both had the Bengals in this one. And they took it. It's their 4th straight win. This happens every year. Don't overthink it. The Bengals look fantastic. They look great. I think they're the second best team in the league right now. I know that's a little early, but I'm going to say it. I think they look good. Joe Mixon's finally in the game. They look great. Bills have a lot of holes.
Oh my gosh, yes. They are Have you seen their upcoming schedule?
It's tough.
I mean, if they
You
keep
want to
playing
talk
like,
about a tough schedule? Look at the
yeah,
Eagles' schedule.
I did see that. Yes.
They have a gauntlet
Yep.
coming up, and they play the Cowboys again in 4 weeks.
Yep. At the Cowboys this time.
Yeah, I really want to go to that game. Tickets are only $90, so just saying, might fly out.
All right, guys, we're gonna put a Venmo here, a link, and just
Yeah, please, please fly us to Arlington.
All right, last game, Chargers and the Jets last night. That was kind of boring. I did
Worst game of the week.
I did watch some at the gym, but that was about it.
Dude, it sucked.
Hey, I will say the Jets defense did win me this week. I had to bank with them, and thankfully they gave me 7 fantasy points, which was enough to secure the win. But yeah, it was. The Jets are the only. I mean, their defense is the only good thing about their team. That's it.
Well, the thing is, they can't even use the defense. Chargers had a punt return for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Like, they can't even use the defense. The special teams is scoring, and so, like, and I love the targets that Garrett Wilson is getting. Garrett Wilson's getting a ton of targets every single week. But he's getting loose with the ball, and he fumbled last night. Garrett Wilson should not be making dumb plays because he's the only person worth value on the offense other than Breece Hall. But they're not even giving the ball to Breece Hall again. Mm-hmm. Why? What are we doing? And they finally said last night they wanted Zach Wilson. They wanted to give him more reign, give him more power in this offense. So they gave him more time in the offense. It's the worst thing they could have done. Zach Wilson looked god awful. There's so many opportunities where he has zero pressure on him, and he throws the ball 10 feet over the receiver's head. Zero pressure. He looks horrible. Get him out of there.
I'm happy he's maturing a little bit at least, because I did hear a press conference how he actually, believe it or not, guys, he actually took the blame for the offensive struggle. Wow, right? I mean, last year he said, I don't know, no. Because he got asked, is it you that's making this offense, where it's at? He said no. Now he's actually stepping up a little bit because he knows if he doesn't, he's going to be cut anyways. Hey, Rodgers though, did you see the news?
Dude, I think you give him 2-3 weeks, he's back.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's
pretty
back
good throwing.
2 to 3 weeks, I think he's back. Talk about an awesome situation. Like, if he comes back and they go into the postseason, pretty cool.
Yep, that'd be nice. But, I mean, their offense got to step up or else they're not going to make it to the postseason.
I think their quarterback's a huge hole that would be filled there.
I know.
Yeah, so then we're just going to move into just picks for Thursday, a little bit of talk about it. It'll be quick because they should never make this a primetime game, but it's the Panthers versus the Bears. I'm taking the Bears 100%. They're getting Justin Fields back. Kind of opens up the door for a lot of fantasy points. I think Bagent did fine, but it's time to get him out.
Yep.
Panthers suck. So that's all I had to say about that game. I don't even want to watch it. I'm gonna, but I don't want to.
Yeah, I'll pick the Bears as well. They're at home. Hopefully that helps them a little bit. Fields is still kind of questionable. They don't know yet for sure if he's going to be back 100% yet or not. But I feel like their running game, Buffalo's running defense, is not that good at all. And I think they'll run all over them. They should run all over them, I'll say that.
There you go. All right, I think that wraps things up.
All right, guys. Well, until I believe Friday night, it will be our next show at 8, I believe.
Sounds good.
But yeah, we'll go over sit-em, start-em, and we'll go over also on who we think is going to win this week. So until then, guys,
tune in.
We'll catch you on Flippity Flip. Deuces, y'all.